Golf is a game that breaks you down and builds you back up. Every golfer, from the weekend hacker to the Masters champion, has faced moments where everything fell apart. But what separates the legends from everyone else isn't how they play when things are going great. It's how they respond when things go completely wrong. In this video, I'm breaking down the golfers who bounced back from disaster, the comebacks, the redemptions, and the moments that remind us why golf is the greatest mental game ever played. Let's get into it. 1. Tiger Woods, the greatest comeback in sports history. Let's start with the most famous comeback in golf, maybe in all of sports, the disaster. Tiger Woods won 14 major championships and spent years as the undisputed best player in the world. Then came the personal scandals of 2009, multiple knee surgeries and 4 back surgeries that left him unable to walk without pain. At one point, doctors told him he might never play competitive golf again. His world ranking dropped outside the top 1,000. The bounce back. In 2018, Tiger won the Tour Championship, his first PGA Tour victory in 5 years. Then in 2019, he won the Masters, his 15th major championship, completing one of the greatest comebacks in sports history. The roar from the Augusta crowd when he made the winning putt was unlike anything golf had ever seen. The lesson. Tiger's comeback wasn't just about golf. It was about refusing to accept that your best days are behind you no matter how bad things get. 2. Ben Hogan, surviving the unthinkable. The disaster. In February 1949, Ben Hogan and his wife Valerie were driving through Texas when their car was hit head-on by a Greyhound bus. Hogan threw himself across his wife to protect her, which likely saved his life. The steering column would have killed him otherwise. He suffered a double fracture of the pelvis, a fractured collarbone, a broken left ankle, a fractured right leg, and near-fatal blood clots. Doctors said he might never walk again, let alone play golf. The bounce back. 16 months later, Hogan returned to competitive golf. In 1950, he won the U.S. Open at Marion in a playoff, walking 36 holes on legs that were still wrapped in bandages. He went on to win 6 more major championships after the accident. The lesson. Hogan's comeback is the gold standard for resilience in golf. He didn't just survive, he became arguably the greatest ball striker who ever lived. 3. Rory Mroy, from Masters collapse to major domination. The disaster. In 2011, Rory Mroy was leading the Masters by 4 shots heading into the final round. He was 21 years old and looked destined to become the youngest Masters champion in decades. Then the back 9 happened. McIlroy made a triple bogey on the 10th hole, followed by more mistakes and finished with an 80, dropping from first to tied for 15th. It was one of the most painful collapses in recent Masters history. The bounce back. Just 2 months later, McIlroy won the U.S. Open at Congressional by 8 shots, setting multiple records in the process. He went on to win 4 major championships by age 25. The lesson. McIlroy used the Masters collapse as fuel, rather than letting it define him. He turned one of the worst moments of his career into the motivation for some of his greatest achievements. 4. Dustin Johnson, from heartbreak to major champion. The disaster. Dustin Johnson had one of the most painful runs of near misses in major championship history. He triple bogeyed the second hole of the final round at the 2010 U.S. Open, turning a 3-shot lead into a 5-shot deficit. Later that year at the PGA Championship, he grounded his club in a bunker on the 72nd hole, receiving a 2-stroke penalty that kept him out of a playoff. At the 2015 U.S. Open, he missed a 12-foot eagle putt to win, then missed the 3-foot comeback putt. The bounce back. In 2016, Johnson won the U.S. Open at Oakmont, overcoming a controversial 1-stroke penalty ruling during the final round to win his first major championship. He went on to become the world's #1 ranked player. The lesson. Johnson's journey from repeated heartbreak to major champion is a reminder that persistence and resilience eventually pay off. 5. Phil Mickelson, 6 runner-ups in a U.S. Open that never was. The disaster. Phil Mickelson finished second at the U.S. Open 6 times, more than anyone in history. His most painful loss came at the 2006 U.S. Open at Winged Foot, where he stood on the 18th tee with a one-shot lead and made a double bogey to lose. His post-round quote, "I am such an idiot," became one of the most memorable in golf history. The bounce back. Mickelson won 2 more major championships after 2006, the 2010 Masters and 2013 Open Championship, and remained one of golf's most popular and successful players. Then, in 2021, at age 50, he won the PGA Championship, becoming the oldest major champion in history. The lesson. Mickelson's career is a masterclass in resilience. He never let his U.S. Open heartbreaks define him, and his 2021 PGA Championship win is one of the most inspiring stories in golf history. 6. Jordan Spieth, from Augusta nightmare to Open champion. The disaster. Jordan Spieth's quadruple bogey 7 on the 12th hole at the 2016 Masters is one of the most painful moments in recent golf history. He hit 2 balls into Rae's Creek, went from leading to trailing, and couldn't recover. Danny Willett won the green jacket. The bounce back. In 2017, Spieth won the Open Championship at Royal Birkdale in dramatic fashion, making a remarkable recovery from a wayward tee shot on the 13th hole of the final round. He went on to win the hole and the tournament. The lesson. Spieth's ability to recover from the 2016 Masters and win a major the following year shows that the best players don't let one disaster define their career. If these comeback stories are inspiring you, hit that subscribe button right now and tap the bell icon so you don't miss future videos about golf's greatest moments and most inspiring stories. I'm here to bring you the best of the game, the triumphs, the disasters, and everything in between. Drop a comment below telling me which comeback story inspires you most, or share your own golf comeback moment. I read every comment and want to hear your stories. Now, let's get into a few more golfers who refuse to let disaster have the last word. 7. Bernhard Langer, battling the yips multiple times. The disaster. Bernhard Langer developed the yips, a psychological condition that makes short putting almost impossible, multiple times throughout his career. The yips have ended the careers of many great players. The bounce back. Langer overcame the yips not once but multiple times by changing his grip and putting style. He went on to win 2 Masters titles, 1985 and 1993, and became one of the most successful players on the Champions Tour. The lesson. Langer's battle with the yips is one of the most inspiring stories in golf. He refused to let a mental condition end his career and found ways to adapt and succeed. 8. Ken Venturi, from near-death to U.S. Open champion. The disaster. Ken Venturi was one of the most promising young players in golf in the late 1950s, but injuries and personal struggles derailed his career. By 1964, he was nearly broke, suffering from carpal tunnel syndrome, and had almost given up on golf. The bounce back. In June 1964, Venturi played 36 holes in brutal heat at the U.S. Open at Congressional Country Club. He was so dehydrated and exhausted that a doctor walked with him on the final round to monitor his health. He won the tournament, collapsing into the arms of his caddy on the 18th green. The lesson. Venturi's 1964 U.S. Open win is one of the most dramatic and emotional moments in golf history. It's a reminder that sometimes the greatest victories come from the deepest struggles. 9. Payne Stewart, redemption at Pinehurst. The disaster. Payne Stewart lost the 1998 U.S. Open at the Olympic Club when Lee Janzen made a miraculous recovery from the trees on the 18th hole to win. Stewart had led for much of the tournament. The bounce back. In 1999, Stewart won the U.S. Open at Pinehurst No. 2, making a 15-foot par putt on the 18th hole to beat Phil Mickelson by 1 shot. It was one of the most dramatic finishes in U.S. Open history. Tragically, Stewart died in a plane crash just months later. His 1999 U.S. Open win remains one of golf's most emotional and memorable moments. The lesson. Stewart's comeback from the 1998 heartbreak to the 1999 triumph is a reminder to never give up, because you never know when your moment will come. Why comebacks matter in golf. Golf is the perfect sport for comebacks because it's so individual and so mental. There's no team to carry you, no coach to call a timeout. It's just you, the club, and the ball. Mental toughness. The best comebacks in golf are as much about mental strength as physical skill. Resilience. Every great player has faced disaster. What separates them is how they respond. Inspiration. These stories remind us that no matter how bad things get, a comeback is always possible. Conclusion. So there you have it. Golfers who bounced back from disaster. From Tiger's miraculous Masters win to Hogan's return from a near-fatal accident, these stories remind us why golf is the greatest mental game ever played. The next time you're having a bad round, remember, the best players in the world have been there too. And they came back stronger. Hit that like button if these stories inspired you, and I'll see you on the course.